Ed and Eddy is a large, corpulent chunk of my childhood. I had this unnatural, yet totally understandable obsession with this show. Because it was so funny. It definitely helped shape my sense of humor. If you could say that I have a sense of humor. My friends will say that I do. The really good ones will say that. When I heard there was going to be a Game Boy Advance game, I was like, yes! Yes! Like that, exactly! Ed, and Eddy Jawbreakers. What's with the title? I mean, yeah, Ed and Eddy liked Jawbreakers. They were a huge part of the show and therefore probably a huge part of this game. But is Jawbreakers the best title they could come up with? Like, what about Ed and Eddy The Quest for Jawbreakers? Or Ed and Eddy Jawbreaker Madness? Nah, just call it Jawbreakers. That's good enough.
When you start a new game, your file can only have 4 letters. So I guess my name is Brooke now. Jerks.
Relish this fine summer's day, Eddy. Observe the solitude of the cul-de-sac. The aroma of fresh-cut grass.
It stinks. I'm bored. I forgot to wear my underwear.
Oh, wow, that's funny. Yet familiar.
Relish the fine summer's day, Eddy. Absorb the solitude of the cul-de-sac. The aroma of fresh-cut grass.
It stinks. I'm bored. I forgot to wear underwear, guys.
The Eds are informed there's a contest at the candy store in which the winner will be awarded a box of Jawbreakers that will last forever. Well, that's great that they'll last forever, but I mean, like, wouldn't the saliva make them stink? So the adventure begins. The gameplay is based on the SNES classic The Lost Vikings, which had just gotten a Game Boy remake around the same time this game came out. So yeah, this game's just The Lost Vikings, but with a lot less farting. You have to get the Eds to the end of the screen one at a time. Each character has their own perks that will help the other two make it through all the madness surrounding the levels. And I do mean madness. There's robots, killer garden hoses, angry goat buddies, and chihuahuas that could bite your head off. Willikers, what kind of chihuahuas are these?
You see this? Fear this.
So let's say you're controlling Eddy. You come across this leaking fire hydrant. You have to find this wrench that only Double D can use. Then get Double D to where Eddy was so he can fix the hydrant. Some levels utilize each Ed's strengths to where you're constantly switching, and other levels where you use one so much that it just seems excessive when you finally have to control the other two. It's like, I already made it past all this crud, and now I've got to do it again, twice. Eddy is able to do a double jump to reach higher platforms, which is good, but it just makes it more frustrating when I'm controlling the other two. Especially Ed, who can't jump for shit. Me with buttered toast and a side of gravy, this is frustrating. Double D, as mentioned earlier, can use his wrench, and he dies if he touches the wet cement. Can wet cement kill you? Why does the sign just say wet cement and not instant murder? That'd keep me away from it. Double D actually refuses to go past these signs.
But I'm controlling you! You have to go where I tell you to go! Well, that's not fair! Double D thinks he's HBIC.
So you have to find this trolley which only Ed can push to get past it. And it's not till stage 3 until Ed finds this helmet that is needed for anything other than pushing the trolley.
He's like the friend that weighs you down. He's like the Brandon Rogers of this game. Brandon Rogers was a friend I had that weighed me down. And if you knew who he was, you might have laughed.
This game has so many jumps and therefore so many falls. Like, you can't escape the long, indulgent falls. They're part of the game, so you better get used to them. And you know those games where you never know where you're gonna land and end up landing on a stage hazard? This is one of them. It's funny, you can fall for miles and just get right back up, but one touch of the chihuahua and it's straight to hell for you.
Like, I know you can't tell right now, but my arm is burning.
That's disturbing.
Now, let's get to some of the positives of this game, because there are some. There's 6 stages based on areas from the series, and some of them are set up very nicely. I mean, there's way too many moving platforms you gotta wait for, but that's a part of life. waiting for moving platforms.
It's a way of life!
The graphics capture the show's animation style very well, and the music, wow, it is really good. I mean, listen to this forest level. It sounds awesome! So when you get to the candy store, they're sold out of raffle tickets. Now you spend the rest of the game trying to take all the tickets from the other kids, by doing stuff like dueling Rolf and finding Naz's lost black book.
A black book? What a slut! With no offense to any of my viewers out there that are sluts. You're sluts that I like.
And then you have to give it back to her, but every direction you go in, she goes the opposite way. Just like the girls I went to high school with. Luckily, I always found a way to them, much to their dismay. Now for some of the straight up bad things about this. First of all, you can't replay the levels you've already beaten. There's no level select. That's a shame because in games like Mario 64, I always go back to the easy levels to stock up on extra lives. But you can't do that here. Mamma mia, that's some bullshit. So if there's a level you want to play over and over again, you're gonna have to make a new file, make it to that level, and be sure to shut the game off before you complete it. Most of the levels don't have much replay value, but I mean, this game plays by its own rules.
I play by my own rules, nobody else's.
As you begin the 6th and final stage, this happens. The Cankers come and steal Double D.
Like, first of all, I'm pissed off because Double D is my favorite.
Why do the Cankers only kidnap Double D? I mean, wouldn't it be easier to kidnap Eddy? For God's sakes, only one of the Cankers picks him up. Why are the other two even lifting their arms? In case she drops him horizontally? So in the last level, you only play as Ed and Eddy. Now, that's just unrealistic. Double D's the brains and therefore the glue. If Ed and Eddy are without him, you'd find their corpses rotting in the core of the trailer park. And nobody would notice because trailer parks already stink. Thankfully, these last levels are not very long, but I hate these birds!
I hate birds.
I hate them more.
God, did you see that? It barely grazed his hair, and he died!
I mean, if my hair stood up like this and a bird flew by my hair, I don't think that would actually kill. Oh, wow, it looks really good that way.
Now, prepare for the final boss battle, and boy, is it easy. Just dodge the kisses they blow, get the helmet, push the trolley, save Double D, and get the HE double hockey sticks out of there.
Now, this is the end of the game, and it is just seriously straight up the worst ending I have ever seen in a game. Simple as that. You get to the candy store, the winning ticket was from the one kid you didn't collect from. I feel betrayed. I know things didn't always work out for the Eds on the show, but this is an all-time low. Like, who thought this would be a good ending? This game cost me like $30 or $35 when I first bought it. Did they expect me to get my money's worth? Imagine in Ocarina of Time, you've defeated Ganon, peace is restored to Hyrule, you go back to the castle, and there's Ganon, and the Goron dude, and Mido, and Kaepora Bora, and Zelda and Serena, and they're all slurping Jawbreakers, and Link doesn't get one. Bad example, I know. But still, I hate this game. I hate you.
And what are the odds there were just enough Jawbreakers for each one of the kids? I call absolute shenanigans.
Now, if I can look past the ending, can I say that the game is in some ways redeeming and that I was proud to have it in my collection, if anything, just because it's an Ed, Ed and Eddy game? Well, yeah, I would say that. But I can't look past the ending, so I hate it. You know what? I'm done here. I got a date with Naz. That's right, I was in the Black Book.
God, I still love that music!